Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about another way that water affects our weather, and that is through what's called the Gulf Stream. So I want to start by showing you a graph of two different cities in North Carolina. One of them on the left being Wilmington, and Wilmington is near the ocean. It sits on the ocean. And the other one is Charlotte. And when you first look at it, you think, wow, they look similar. You notice that in January, the temperatures are cold. And as we get in the summertime, the temperatures rise and then they fall again towards December. But what I want you to notice is even though Wilmington and North Carolina are both pretty much at the same latitude, which means they should have the same temperatures, if you look over here in the wintertime, um, Wilmington actually is about 56, 57 degrees on average, whereas in Charlotte, the average temperature is around 51. And the question then becomes, why is that? Well, it's like that because of the one big difference between Wilmington and Charlotte, and that is where they are in relationship to the ocean. So I want to teach you about that today. What causes Wilmington to have warmer winter temperatures than Charlotte? So this is called the Gulf Stream. So you see a picture of Finding Nemo, and this is a classic scene when he's with the turtles and Dad's looking for Nemo, and they get in that they kind of join that fast moving water, and it takes them across the ocean, right? So that's a real thing. That's called a current, an ocean current. And we don't see them, but we know they're there. We can feel them. So you notice that the Gulf Stream sounds very similar to the jet stream. The big difference is the jet stream has to do with a fast moving river of air, whereas the Gulf Stream is a fast moving river of water within the ocean. Okay. So you may not know have known that they were there. So in this scene in Finding Nemo, when the turtles all, follow that fast moving river, that's an actual thing. And and they're all over the globe. There's all sorts of different ones, but the one big one we're going to talk about that affects us in the United States, and especially us on the East Coast in North Carolina, the most is going to be the Gulf Stream. So the Gulf Stream, we're going to look at how it influences the weather in the United States. So what you need to understand is that with the planet, that the heat from the sun warms up areas near the equator the warmest and the most. And most of you know that. So what happens is that means it warms up the oceans at the equator the most. Now that warm ocean water, just like warm air, wants to rise up to the surface, and cooler ocean water wants to sink. So what we have here is these streams of warm air down near where the equator would be. And what happens is because of the circulation of the earth, it starts to move. And because of the wind, we have wind down here that blows from Africa over towards the Americas. So that pushes this warm water that direction. So then it starts up here. Now it flows along the coast of the United States. And then when it hits the winds up here, the global winds, it gets blown across the ocean towards Europe. So it's this fast moving river of water. But the thing is, it's warmer because the water starts down in the near where the equator is. That water is much, much warmer. So what that means is it brings its thermal energy with it. So as it comes up, especially in the wintertime when the oceans are colder up here, this warm water comes near the edge of the United States, and especially Wilmington and North Carolina. And if the water is warmer, the air above that water is warmer, and it carries that thermal energy onto the coast where Wilmington is and can lead to an average temperature of about 5 degrees warmer. And that is all thanks to this water that starts down in the Gulf of Mexico, hence the name Gulf Stream. All right. So let's see, I'm looking for the correct map. Oh, we don't want that. So let's go back to the original picture, this one right here. If you look, these different colors represents the different temperatures of the surface of the ocean. And you can see that it's much orange, it's very orange down here, it's much darker. And then you can kind of see you can almost see this line through here where it's darker than the surrounding water. And that's the Gulf Stream. And again, when the air over that gets that thermal energy and comes up on the coast, it brings warmer temperatures, especially in the winter time. So this is really important to, to the United States, especially on the coast, because it can bring warmer temperatures. Warmer temperatures bring more water vapor, which can then impact the weather of a place. I hope this helps. I hope you learned a little bit about the Gulf Stream and keep working on your stuff. We're almost done. Have a great day, guys.